All right, so today I'm just going to go over a kind of setup that's quite a bit custom. This is kind of emulated an example off of different real projects, which was the Google Next event. I think it's called Google Cloud Next, actually. But I saw this and I actually looked around for a while and couldn't find the exact company that production company or designers that put this together. So if you know who it is, feel free to let me know. But in any event, I'm not trying to necessarily copy it or anything. I just wanted to see if I could do something like this, and how it would be done in RenderNow to be able to do something like this. Because basically, a lot of this is not super standard stuff. So I was thinking, all right, some of this stuff would be cool to make, like the stage here, some of these kind of scenic backdrop pieces here, and then these LED screens that kind of separate into different screens and go up like this, as well as some of the lighting and the backdrop back here. So here's some quick different looks at it. You can see they have just graphics that kind of are more sort of abstract, and then their main screen right here. And some more different looks at it here, as well as some video of some animation that they have there. But I'll just show you what I did to kind of create this so that maybe it can kind of give you some ideas of, not necessarily to build this exact set, obviously, but things that you could do if you want to quickly put together something that is a little more custom like this. So I'll just kind of give you a quick overview of what we have here. So for seating, I just put a bunch of placeholder chairs on the floor here. And then up at the top, you have these kind of kinetic motorized LED lit balls that would, I think in a lot of situations, people actually motorize them so they can move. And then of course, change color. I grouped these all together so you can change all of their color together as well, like this. To just get a quick look. And then, okay, so I'll explain kind of where I started and everything, just to give you a quick overview of it all. So I'm not going to put this all together right now because that would be a fairly long video. I think it took me an hour to 2 hours to kind of put this all together. So not too long, but again, I kind of had a good idea of how to do it also. I might tomorrow in our Friday live stream kind of recreate this again so that anyone that's watching can see how it might be done in more detail. But for now, I'll just explain it. So for this custom stage, if you go to our stage pieces here, we have risers that are made up of your kind of standard risers and then different shapes here. But if I were to add in any of these shapes, they're kind of basic. So I have rectangular, half circle, cylinder, and triangular stage. So to get this set up, what I did is put together multiple types of shapes here. We're not trying to be a 3D modeling program. We want to make it sort of so that you don't have to do any real 3D modeling within the program. So at the moment, to get some of this sort of custom stuff, you're basically just putting together some custom shapes to get this together. It's not too difficult. You're basically just taking a shape like a rectangle here and then sort of scaling it to different sizes. So you can see right here, I have a rectangle, and then in the middle, I have a cylinder, and then here's another rectangle, and then in the back, I have another rectangle as well to give me that shape, and then just a couple stairs here. And what I did from there was I sort of duplicated them. So if I move this up, you can see this is one piece here. And then I think I duplicated another. So if I zoom in on this and select this little piece right here, it's actually a glowing one. And that just gives me that outline on the side because I just wanted to make that cool outline that would go around it, which could either be LED, LED strip or some type of other light that you were to add in there. So that's how that worked. And then, so that's the stage. And then the backdrop here are basically just a couple shapes. I kept it simple. It's a little more specific in the actual design that they did here. So you can see this is definitely a circular shape here, but then they did like a sort of rounded rectangular cutout within these areas here that people could walk out of. And so I just kind of wanted to get a quick idea of this. I didn't have any rounded edges for a rectangular shape, so instead I just went with a circle, which you could get a rectangular shape if I were to upload a shape like this with, you can see that this shape right here has rounded edges to it, so you could potentially use some like this to get what you want. That's just an uploaded PNG that I did. But anyways, for this example, what I did was I just brought in a, let's see here. Yeah, I brought in a cylinder. Let me go to my shapes here. And then I kind of just rotated this and then shaped it to this size, right, with the scale. So I kind of scaled it down, rotated it out, and till I got the sort of shape that I wanted. So fairly quick that way. And then I just added a texture to it. So in my images, I uploaded some sort of wood grain texture there, so that I had that. And then this is actually on top of it, so it's in front of it. And I dimmed, or I made it darker so that it looks like it's actually behind. And then I just did another outline with another shape here and made it glow. So you can see if I actually change the intensity of the shape here, it will dim that texture on there. And then this over here, I just changed the color of it to white, I believe. Or actually, there's probably a texture on there. So I think all I did is just increase the intensity of it really high, so it made it look like it was glowing. Okay, so that's kind of how I did that. So that's the same thing over here. And then for these were pretty simple. These are just rectangular shapes again that I uploaded a texture to. So it looks like some type of kind of corrugated material. And so I just found an image of a corrugated texture on there, and then I added it to that. And then behind these things here, I have some LED lights that I added in. So I created some LED lights there, and then I just kind of grouped them and added them back here. And now if I sort of select any of them, if I wanted to select these ones back here, I can select them, and then I can change the color or the intensity of those lights. And then I just kind of staggered them. Cool, so that's how that worked. And then I'll get to the screens here in a second, and I'll show you that. But the backdrop here is just a scrim, which I added over here in backdrop. I just added a large cyc and just put like, I think, a white material on it from here. And then I did some just basic cube shapes here to get these kind of tall pillar LED shapes here, which I believe, if you're actually creating them, would be something like some lights behind, maybe an acrylic or something like that, type of scenery like that. But I don't know exactly how they did that. All right, so that's that. And then I'll talk about the screens real quick. So these screens are just some, I uploaded some PNGs with just some cornered round edges there. And then I actually just projected onto all of them. This one, however, in the middle is actually a group of some different basic shapes I use. So again, if you're going to screens here, we don't have any screens with curved edges, at least at the moment. So you can kind of get around that by either using some of these shapes here, like the cylinder and the basic cubes, or you could upload a PNG image and do it that way. So with the center one, I just wanted to see if I could do it this way. So if I unlock this group, it's actually a sort of rectangular shape in the middle, and then the corners are just these cylinders that I made here. See there, and then I just group them all together, so they're just one piece. Cool, so that's how that is done. And then actually, to get this all to be one image easily, so that I could kind of make it all look like it was one image together, I just did that with a projector. So if I turn my lights up a little bit, I actually put this projector down here on the ground. This is a little funky because you might, I think this was all LED, but since I'm using some custom shapes here and doing some custom things, it was just going to be easier to make it look like, or to use a projector and then map onto these so that I could get all of the image to be one, if that makes sense. So ultimately, still looks like it could be LED, but I'm just hiding a projector down here so that so you can't really see it, and also so that it kind of shoots upwards because these panels are kind of going upwards. So the way I did that is I just select all of these screens, and then I select the projector, which is, let me turn up the room light, which is right here. Cool. And now, since I have all of these selected, I can set them to map. And if I turn them off, basically you won't see anything in the projector. Typically, if I drag out a projector, right, it's going to project over everything. So instead, what I do is I select these screens, and then I click that mapping button on here. And it's set, and then it just maps the image right onto there. And now, when I select this projector, if I move it anywhere, that image is just on, it just only displays on that one area, or on these screens here, and I can change the size of it, change the keystone, and all sorts of stuff like that, so I have control over that. Okay, so that's the last thing I think is the lighting and stuff. So for like I'll turn up the lights here a little bit. So you can see I just kind of did some different sort of tiered truss lines here. And then I have all of my stage wash hanging from this top one here, as well as some movers. They're pointing downward. And then I have these lights that are facing outward, which these truss lines would also be holding some of these LED screens here. Cool. And then finally, I added some haze, just a little bit to kind of give a little bit more atmosphere within this room. And then that was pretty much it. Created some camera views, I believe, like that. And then if I want to animate through them, I can just hit this animate button and see what it looks like through it. So again, I'll try to do maybe a live stream tomorrow. That's Friday. It would be the 3rd, May 3rd. And probably within that hour to 2 hours, I'll go over this in more detail maybe, as well as some other stuff. So that's it for today. And let me know if you have any questions. Head over to eventrender.com. You can also go ahead and do a free 7-day trial if you aren't already using the program. Cool. Thanks. Talk to you later.